Okay, I got one last gift making idea for you, and you can get this done before Christmas. It should only take you a few hours to make. This is one of your viewer projects that was submitted on my holiday gift making folder. This is a small kind of travel size Quarto game by Nicolas Hattier. You'll be able to make this with just a little bit of scrap wood in your shop, and you'll need a 3/4 inch diameter dowel. A few years ago, I made a full size version of a Quarto game that turned out really nice. I'll include a link to that down in the description, but I thought this one would be great because you can make it with just a couple of different tools. And if you're unfamiliar with what Quarto is and how to play it, I'll explain it at the end of this video. I've got this mahogany board left over from when I made those Christmas snowflake ornaments, and all I need to do here is just make the base board, which is just going to be 5.5 by 5.5 inches square. I've lowered the blade so I can just kind of scribe the grid into the wood. This next cut should have been my first, probably. I want to find the center, and then I'll just make a cut both ways on that. I think I'll be able to make these squares even by starting with that center one. And finally, I'll just kind of nibble away the border. I'll use a sanding stick to knock down those ridges from the saw blade. I'm gonna need 8 dark pieces and 8 light pieces. Ideally, the light pieces would just be made out of this mahogany, and then I would use walnut for the dark pieces. But in order to make the round pieces, I would have to turn the mahogany and the walnut on a lathe, and I thought a simpler solution would just be to use some pine, a dowel and a pine board, and then just paint them. I'm making the square pieces 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. Half of the pieces are going to be hollow, so I'm just going to drill a hole on the end of each of these. I'm going to start with a pilot hole. Then I'll switch over to this bigger bit. You can put these in a clamp like this. And then I can just drill that out this way. So maybe something like that. Doesn't have to be very deep. I got an enormous amount of mail this past month. I want to thank all of you who sent me notes and requested stickers, and those have all been sent out. You should be getting those before Christmas. And again, as a reminder, if you'd like a Woodworking for Mere Mortal sticker, just send me a self-addressed stamped envelope and I'll send you out one. You don't need to include a note or anything. And my address is in the description of this video. I wanted to mention some of the things you guys sent me. And first up was this note from Kayla. Kayla is 11 years old and she watches my show with her dad. And she especially likes the episodes that I do with the catification, and she really likes to see Cobra and Bubbles. But I think she's particularly fond of Bubbles. But it's really cool because she actually, in the margin of her note here, drew little pictures of some of my projects, and they're really cute. They've got, like, there's my dumbbells box, and there's the hurdles for Cobra and Bubbles. And she was asking about that, if they're still doing the hurdles. And no, we haven't done that in a while. I want to get back to that and try to get them trained to do more of that jumping. But it's been my fault. I've been just lazy on doing the hurdles. But this is the best thing she sent me. Look at this. She drew a picture of Bubbles. It looks just like her. That is so awesome. I'm gonna hang this up in the shop. Thanks a lot, Kayla. That really means a lot. And I got a note from Kyle Logan in El Paso, Texas. Kyle is 9 years old and he made a Christmas tree ornament for me. He said he made this all by himself. He did it with a drill press and a hole saw, and that is going right up on my tree. Thank you, Kyle. That was awesome. I got this awesome Christmas card from Eros, and these are his cats. That's Astria, Galileo, and Apollo on there, looking very festive. And he said his girlfriend helped him make this bracelet for me. That was really cool. Thanks a lot. Lots more Christmas cards from Matt and from Eric. A really cool card here from someone, but there's no name on it. I forgot. It was probably on the letter, but thank you for that. Love this handmade card. This is from Michael, and the card was made by his wife, Cindy. It's officially the holidays when you get a card from Microjig, maker of the gripper. Thank you, Kurt, Jennifer, and the rest of the Kulzicki family. Probably pronounced that wrong. And one from, I think it's Vivian. I can't quite read the name in there. Thank you all for those cards. And I just wanted to mention this because it's a way for me to plug my courses. I got this note from Steve Burge, and he says he's taken all 3 of my Weekend Woodworker courses, and he actually did a printout of all the badges he's earned on the first Weekend Woodworker course. You earn these badges if you complete the project and you send it into us, and then you get all of those to, I don't know, hang on your wall. Display them with pride. Oh, and Steve's a 49ers fan too. Even though the 49ers aren't doing very well this year. Okay, San Francisco 49ers, they moved away from San Francisco. They haven't played in San Francisco in a while. They play in Santa Clara, which is way down in the Silicon Valley. But now, because of COVID, they're not allowed to play down there, so they had to move to Arizona. So you got the San Francisco 49ers, who don't play in San Francisco, who no longer play in Santa Clara, who now play in Arizona. And half the team is injured. Cyrus P. from Colorado Springs, he sent me pictures of some of the Weekend Workshop projects, lumber cart, and the BMW here. I like what he did there, where he put the different tape up there for storage. And he also sent me a couple of stickers. He sent me the U.S. Air Force, and you know, U.S. Air Force is there in Colorado Springs. And then the Space Force. I didn't even know the Space Force was a real thing until recently. I got a big box of stuff from John and Joanne, and I guess one time I said, you know, you don't have to create a whole note to send to me to get a sticker. And so what did he send me? Yeah, he sent me an 8th note. I'm getting the impression that John is like king of puns. Ornament with the S on it. I'm gonna guess that the S stands for Steve, but it's a beautiful ornament. Got a lot of ornaments to put on the tree, but I like that they're wood ornaments because we got the cats. So this whole year, we're not putting up any glass ornaments on the tree. We're just putting up wood ornaments. And here's the funny thing. Cats haven't bothered the tree at all. He sent me 3 joke books because he knows that I like dumb jokes. And these are probably the worst of the worst. Looking through some of these, you want me to read one randomly? These are like old school comedy, really old school jokes. Okay, and okay. Yesterday, a clown held the door open for me. I thought it was a nice gesture. I'm not saying these right. I gotta do it like that vaudeville voice. When I think of vaudeville, I think of Rodney Dangerfield, even though he didn't really do vaudeville, but it should be like, hey, they got a new name for bartenders. They're called physicians. John. I'm not bald, I just have a very tall face. My cousin has a trophy wife. She came in 10th place. Instead of 10th place, it should have been she participated. You know what he sent me? Dry glue. There was a time when I mentioned, you know, how satisfying it is to pull that glue off of things, especially like a silicone brush, and you pull it off and you're like, oh, it's so satisfying. I don't even want to throw the thing away. He saved them. Hey, start yourself a woodworking channel. You'll get some interesting things in the mail. Yeah, that turned out pretty nice. Hey, Nicholas, thanks for participating. Thanks for sending over the picture of your Quarto game. That helped out a lot. So I was gonna shoot something new showing you how to play Quarto, but I realized I did that 8 years ago. So here's what I shot back then. Thanks for watching, everybody. Quarto is a really simple game. It's kind of similar to a card game called Set. What you're trying to do is create a line of pieces that have similar characteristics. Every Quarto board will be divided up into 16 sections, either circles or squares or something like that. And there are 16 Quarto pieces. They are all different. The pieces are either going to be dark or light. They're either going to be square or round. And they're either going to be hollow or solid. And lastly, they're either going to be tall or short. Now, the object of the game is to be the first player to create one row of pieces that all share a common characteristic. For instance, this would be a winning row here. they're all dark. This would be a winning row because they're all hollow. And you can make your matches diagonally too. In this case, these would all be short. This is a winning row because they're all square. Both players share all of the pieces. Neither player has his own set of pieces. Now where this game gets really interesting is that you don't pick your own piece. When it's your turn, you pick a piece for your opponent to play. And that really makes it kind of diabolical in a way because it becomes sort of a defensive game and you have to think about not only the piece that your opponent has given you to play, but you got to be thinking about what piece you're going to give him that is going to cause a reaction on the following move. And it seems to be if you lose the game, it's really because of your own fault. So for instance, if my opponent, if it had been in this situation, my opponent handed me, say, this piece, and I think, well, it's a square, I can't make rows anywhere here, but I don't want this white area to become completed. So let's say I put that black one there. I've just lost the game for myself because I have to give him either a light colored or a dark colored piece, which he can play right here.